I mean that, and it is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, who wants 25? They would have some 5, 10 seats or something.
Mm-hmm.
They would have. Can you see my screen, Aqua?
Yeah.
Okay. And Adi and Anna has to join. So how's the new look, guys?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's Windows 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was thinking of making my own server as well.
Okay.
So I was searching a lot of documents in STM. So I have seen the procedures and all,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still very complicated. I mean, a guy has to be a basis consultant, and I have to contact basis consultant for that.
Okay.
Because it is very time consuming, and it is complicated to make the remote server and all. Uh, okay, we are waiting. Asli is online. Oh, let me go like this. We have seen Beck's query designer, part of Beck's query designer. We are going to continue the discussion in Beck's query designer, and real-time scenario we will do tomorrow. One or two real-time scenarios. Only uh, how should I call back? Only two more. How should I call? I guess I have to figure out this. Is there no way to re-invite, or do I have to cut the call and then call back again?
Yeah, you can maybe add their calls. Uh,
Yes. Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Hello.
I Hello, Adi.
Hello. Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Well, you can't. Oh,
I can hear.
we're looking at the best query designer, and now we will do the rest of the query designer where we left back. So best query design reporting is a very important part in BI because we do all the ETTL process for reporting itself. I mean, at the end of the day. So anyway, I mean, if you have a team, in the team, for example, if your team is of 7 people, two might be in reporting experts, or one might be in reporting, but the ETTL process is a very big process, and it's a long process. That is the implementation, and reporting is done in support as well. So it depends on uh, if not that important, most of the people stay in ETTL process and very few stay in reporting. But someone who is, good in communication would do reporting normally. It actually doesn't matter the communication. By the way, while I was working, there is a manager who couldn't understand, or who or others couldn't understand to him.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually doesn't matter the communication. It
Mm-hmm.
was a very different communication he had, but all that matters is a chance. If someone has given the chance, that's it. Like he talk like, if I imitate, like, how are these people? What are you doing? Like that. His voice is like that, and you couldn't understand anything in that. Someone has to translate to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mother of all communications. People here, I see a lot of young people were rejected here in India. There's a lot of competition for jobs, like smaller jobs. They say a lot of things like communication and all that, for phonetic scripts, and what is that, uh, accent, a neutral accent they want. But when you see the managers and all, they are just blessed people, that's it. I don't know why they do all such things in interviews. They're just trying to make fool out of them or something like that. But the communication, I don't think it's really necessary for technical jobs. So we were actually working on query. This is not our query. But if you are good at what you are doing, and if you have an ability to get the job done, that is enough, according to me. Because there will be, deadlines and commitments made, and you have to follow those commitments, and you have to deliver on that day. Sometimes there are a lot of perfectionists who get escalated because they don't deliver on time. Because if the time goes by, it just doesn't matter what you delivered, but sometimes all those efforts will be turned down because time matters. So here you can see that we have total bill amount, and there is the archive of material. And for the people at that time, it was very busy, and we couldn't see much. We couldn't see that what's happening. So I will show that archive. There is only key figure here. Actually, we were doing the archive in the middle of the archive. We were not able to continue it. So here, restricted key figures is a selection where you use on the key figures where you use one key figure and more than one characteristics, one or more than one characteristics. And in this process, you can use the other restricted key figures, calculated key figures in the key figures and characteristics. So restricted key figures is a selection of on the key figure with respect to the characteristic. So here you can see that we have a key figure here, and we have a customer, and you can restrict this. Right click on the customer identity and you can restrict this. We have, for example, we have 1 to 5. Let's see, I will show you. This is for the key and text, and text and key as you want to display. For example, I say key and text, and it is 0 0 1 to 10, and let's select 1 to 10, and then you can click on the selection here, and then we will OK this. Here you can see we have restricted this key figure according to the characteristic, and it is very useful when there is a generally we have scenarios for the dates, right? Because we want to display the data according to the month wise or quarter wise or year wise data. So it is very important to have the key figures restricted according to the characteristics. So I added a restricted key figure. Let's see the result. So there is nothing like winning attitude in this world, according to me. Just if you are surrounded by the good people, then you will see yourself in a good position. And if you are surrounded by the bad people, then it doesn't matter what you do. For example, you can take Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg. He is very blessed. Actually, what did he do? He's a college dropout, and he is good at hacking. and his business is to collect the photographs and all, and trying to make a new thing, group. So he's got a lot of warnings from FBI and a lot of warnings from government, but he was lucky enough to escape the ban on the Facebook in its initial days. That is why he's become very Facebook has become massive now. Or else, it just depends on a bit of luck and a lot of hard work. But the one thing I like about him is he always pick the people. People who are not that much academic, or he just throws the parties and picks the people in they have to come together and work for 1 or 2 days continuously and finish the job and go. He just believes that it is all about getting the job done. So he gets the job done, and that is what is important. You can see that our material RKF is restricted to the character state. I guess it is not restricted according to us. It is restricted up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we were doing like 10, I guess. 1 to 10. Let me see. I guess we have some other restricted key figure here. Hmm. So you know how to remove this result, and how to see the properties. Right click on that and look at the properties. This is what the user would do, but we as a power users who have to do the implementation on the back end, like when we design the queries, we can do the changes there. So here you can see there are many options, like you can keep it as a key, because I was seeing there the text, so I want to keep it as key, and I want to add the name instead. Other than the key, I want to add the name in a separate separate column. We don't have that information coming from info provider that we are using for the reporting, but we have a master data loaded. All right, in the beginning we have loaded the master data, so we can use that master data for the text.
Shahid?
Yeah.
Shahid, can you check your screen? I think it's not moving. Are you looking at Bex query designer?
Yeah, I just closed it. No,
I'm still looking at that.
it is working.
Yes, me too. Screen isn't moving.
Okay. Now?
Yeah. No, I think
Okay, now it's, yeah.
it's fine now.
Can you see the Skype screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So when you keep the cursor on the query, then you can get the option edit query. Or else, if you keep the cursor, if the cursor is here and there, you won't get the options edit query here. So you don't have to exit the query there. You just have to keep the cursor back and click on the edit query. So now we are going to create a selection. Selections and formulas are available in the structure. So structure is a reusable component. So for example, we can create calculated key figures, restricted key figures like that in structure, and we can save the structure and we can reuse the structure in other queries as well. Structures are created and they can be reused. They can be saved with a technical name, and you can use that in another query, and you can do remove reference, and then you can add your customization to the structure. So that is how it is possible there, and you need two structures to activate the cell definition. So cell definition is like, for example, you have all the cells, right? You want to do the customized formula for each and every cell, which you normally don't do. That is a special requirement unless the user wants such a query. We don't do that. So, if, for example, if you want to do the customize the query with as per the every cell, for example, you have sometimes you have to do the cell restriction for particular cells so that you can get the desired value in the desired location. So for that purpose, you have to click on the cell, and you can add either RKF, CKF in the in such every cell. You can define different formula for every cell, so that every cell can have different formula, a different calculation. So by default, you will see one structure, and you can create you can create another structure on rows. When you create two structures, the cell definition will be activated, and selections are local, and restricted key figures are global. I have to use document to show you that. Okay, let's see. Well, I haven't installed the. I can use it here. Selections are local objects, local elements. Here, when you say restricted key figures are the selections which are global, which are created on the info provider level. That is called globals. And in the same way, formulas are local. Whereas CKF, calculated key figures, are global. So when you want to create a column, a new column, for example, when you want to define a new key figure selection, you can add a characteristic restriction to that selection. So if you have one key figure and one or more characteristic restrictions on the key figure, you can define a selection. For example, if you have a sales revenue and you want to restrict that to the month wise, you want to create each column. For example, you want the sales revenue for Jan revenue. You want to create a Jan column and you want to create Feb. So how is it possible with the help of selection? It is possible. You have only one key figure, sales revenue. You have only one key figure, sales revenue, and you have a zero cal day characteristic, cal month. You have zero cal month characteristic and sales revenue key figure. So you can restrict sales revenue with the help of characteristic zero cal month, and you can restrict according to each month. And you can create 5, 6, as many as columns you want. So user can see the revenues per January, February, March, April, May, June separately. So there is the flexibility sales revenue. I mean the flexibility that selections and calculated key figures bring. What's this? Okay. So we have to define one selection here. Say I want to restrict bill amount. For that I have to drag and drop the key figure, and then I have to drag and drop the characteristic that I want to restrict with. I want to restrict bill amount with the material number. So here I have to right click on the material number and restrict the material number. So I selected 1 to 5 material numbers here, and OK. Save this. So you can see that this selection has only up to 5 material numbers. So I go back here and I want to delete it, and I want it as a global element, not the local one. So for example, I have this material RKF here, right? This material RKF is a global element. I guess that is what I was looking at there, and this is where it is. So I couldn't actually edit that one here because I was doing local. So let's create another one. Here I want to restrict quantity. You can see we can how to add the restriction. You have this show drop down box here. So in this drop down box you have history, favorites, single values, value ranges, and variables. When you click on single values, all the single values available for the characteristic will be available here. And if you click on variable ranges, you will see the range you have between equal, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, less than, greater than, etc. etc. Contain patterns. So for this, for example, I have created between, I want to create the range for this. So you have to click on F4 or this one. So here you can again go for the single values and you can select the desired value. For example, I want to select 25 to 30 range, and here I want to go for 30, right? So go for again single values and choose 30 here, and you pass on that. So here it is ready, our CKF. So you can keep the default name, or you can use the company standard name for the naming convention. And I will keep the default name here because we are going to delete it. And after creating this, you have to, okay, let's, actually we can keep the default name. We have to add it to the columns. So what we have done, we have got another column, added another column which is not available in our information. So what we are doing by creating calculated key figures, restricted key figures, etc., we are, using our information and creating information. You can see our RKF here is displaying 25 to 30 materials. So that is the use of RKF, and we will see what CKFs have for us. We have CKF, which are calculated key figures, and they are available in a global level and local level. Locally we call them as formulas, and globally we call them as calculated key figures. So you have to create a formula with the help of by right clicking on the structure and create a formula, and then you edit the formula, give the name of the formula. I want to, for example, a percentage. Yeah. Say, if you want to create a formula between you have all the operators here: basic functions, percentage functions, data functions, mathematical functions, trigonometric functions, Boolean functions. Here you would not use trigonometric functions. I have never seen or heard anyone using this, and mathematical functions rarely. So you will use basic functions, percentage functions, data functions, and Boolean functions, Boolean operators. So Boolean operators are used as if-else statements. When you want to create a if-else statement, so here you can see in programming such kind of statements, but how to create such statements? Here we have a replacement for this, and with the help of Boolean operators, with these operators you can create with if-else statements, and that is very handy feature we have, and it depends on the formula. So generally it is a very advantage. and you have data functions here: count, date, delta, enddiv, 0, and no dimension, no error, some ct, some gt, some rt, time. So all these data functions are available for for the different options. Like if you have divided by 0 some x divided by y, and if you have y equal to 0, then it will throw an indefinite value, right? It will give error. So in order to handle such situations, we have to use n division. First of all, let's see the percentage. We will use this percentage here, and profit. You can see it is showing the percentage of the cost. So here we have to get it right. Click, go to query designer, and here you have percentage. Edit this. Okay. So you can see the percentage of the profit you are getting. Sometimes you are getting minus, sometimes you are getting like that, different percentages on bill amount. This is a percentage share of the profit. So just like that, you have different functions. For example, I want to create let's actually, if you want to create a Boolean operators formula, then you have to for example, you have a you should have some scenario like if else a statement. For example, if you have a scenario like deliveries, right? For example, you have deliveries, and if the deliveries are you want to find out either the product is delivered late or early or on time. So for these three scenarios, you want to find out the delivery dates. So for such scenarios, you can create formulas using Boolean operators. If you use x is if x is greater than y, right? So you just don't have to write anything, but when you write a condition with the help of Boolean operators, this means that it is that condition. So it is here, if x is greater than y, then x, and plus if y is greater than z, then y. So for example, I have created this value, right? then what does this expression means here? This expression means that if x is greater than y, if x is 100 and y is 10, then there will be a value 1. There will be a value 1 for that expression because it is a Boolean operator, right? So there will be a value 1 and you are left with x here, whatever the x we have in our formula, in our query. And then if y is greater than z, which may be possible or may not be possible, then if the value y is greater than z, you will have 1. And if y is not greater than z, if it is false, then you will have a value 0. So it will return 0 here into y. So what will happen here? You will only get x. This is equal to x. It will only give x, right? 1 into x plus 0 into y. So with that, like this, you can create an expression. You can create an expression like if x is greater than y. You create, this will be one formula. Another if x is less than y, another formula. So what will happen if the early days, days early is there, then you can give the some value for that. And if late delivered, then you can let the one field display. Like that, you have to create formulas on this, and logical expressions like this are very important. And generally when you are reporting, you will be interacting with the users, so you have to be careful about the delivery and about all such things. So it needs a lot of practice. You have to practice well reporting, and it is very easy, because it is just Excel. At the end of the day, you have to do the ETTL process and practice different scenarios there. So those are Boolean operators, and you have data functions. For example, you want if you have an erroneous expression, and if you don't want to display the erroneous expression, you have to double click on that. You get no error here. In this one, you can do the your calculation, double clicking the material cost into quantity. So if this expression has an error, indefinite value, it will return 0. The no error will return 0 rather than the turning it to indefinite value. So for that reason, we use no error. So on the query, it will return 0 in this case. And no division, for example, we have no division. So no division is there if we are using some indefinite value, some division here. And if it is going to return, we don't know what data is there and what data we will get in future. So it is really important to use data functions here to assure that there will not be any erroneous data. So it will return the 0 value for the indefinite functions. So there is a count function. Let me display it. This count function value is going to be 1 for operands, means if operand is equal to 0, like that. So if operand is equal to 0, then it will be 0. If count is more than 1, more than some value. If there is some value, it is 1. If it is more than 0, it can be 100 or 200 in the expression. So it will only return 1 then, or else it is 0. So in order to avoid the erroneous data, indefinite values, etc., we use such functions. So we can see scenarios on this later. Let me create a global formula for this. You have to right click on the key figures here on the info provider level. Whatever we are creating globally, we are doing it on the info provider level here in the left side pane. And if you want to create a query local element, then we have to click here in the key figures. So I'll create here new calculated key figure. So you have to edit this. We can just add something, or we can do the boolean. We don't have such information to use boolean operators here. I will do the scenario to use such operators. And total material cost. Here, let's give this is the total material cost. It's total. We haven't added it, so you have to drag it here once you create. Once you create the calculated key figures and distributed key figures, you will see the folders here, and you have to drag and drop into the query to use that. You can see we have this is cost and this is quantity, and when you are doing we have done what we have done here. We have done the addition between the cost and the quantity. Why does it gives error in such a situation? Because it is two different entities. These are two different entities. Cost is amount and quantity is uh, units. So you cannot, they have two different units, so you cannot just add it like that. So for example, we want to add cost and quantity, or if we want to multiply cost and quantity. So we can use data function. data function no dimensions will be there. So here you can see, now it is okay, there is no ERR on the side. Generally it can show ERR along with this if you don't use it. So it is so clear and it is quite good. I mean, it is simple and clear. So what we have seen the calculated key figures and restricted key figures. Now we are going to see the exceptions and conditions. You can see the conditions and exceptions. Conditions are threshold values on key figures, and these are used for to filter the data according to the key figure. We have seen filters on characteristics. You can say there is a filter on key figure conditions. So here to use conditions, there are two icons, like one icon here. You can see the conditions here. So the TV icon besides is the exceptions. So I want to right click, you have to right click on this tab. Once you click on the condition, you got the tab, conditions tab, and right click anywhere in the conditions space and create a new condition. You can edit this. I want to, for example, there is a requirement for profit which is above 500. Here you have the key figures available, and you have the operators, and you have the values to be given. You can use formula variables as well. So we are going to discuss variables later, so let's not discuss it now. So here you have, for example, I want to use the profit after sales. I used it, and which is greater than if the profit is greater than 200, I want it to show, or else I want to eliminate that material number and customer number. So here I got one condition. Let's check this. Here you can see the condition is active, check mark there, and it should be active. And you can take a certain characteristic here, but we can keep it overall all characteristics. And we have here, you can see one condition is there in tab, conditions tab. So I will save this. Here we don't get any negative values. Why? By using conditions, we are not deleting any data, but we are just hiding the data. We are hiding the data from based on our threshold values. For example, I want to filter the data about 2000, about 200 value profits. So I want to display the data according to that, and we have applied the threshold value there, and we can display the data according to that. That is the use of condition, and there are many features in condition. Edit the condition here. You can either create a new condition, or you can create another condition and you can make it inactive. Here there are other features, and the main ones are top n, bottom n, and top percentage, bottom percentage, top sum, bottom total, like that. These ones are important. There are many not between and not equal to. So you can just restrict one value, certain value. So that is these features you can use in a different ways. So I want to see the customers, um, top n customers. Say I only want top 5 customers and transfer it. So here, as we have done, let's change the top 5. So save it. So here we got top 5 customers here. You can see the top 5 profits we got. So are you not getting any doubts in this? Are you already familiar with this? Hello?
No.
No doubts.
I mean, I'm not familiar. I think I typed something in the the chat, but I needed some clarification, but we're past that area, so that's fine.
Which clarification you can say? We are into the query itself.
No, it was before that. It was the end if.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the calculated key figures.
Yeah.
In formulas we have values like Boolean operators. So in Boolean operators you can use and if functions, and you can create either 1 or 0 values, because it will give either 1 or 0 value. If the condition you have the expression you have defined, the condition you have given is true, it will return 1. If the expression you have defined or condition you have given is false, it will return the value 0. For example, the conditions, if the condition is 0, so here when you say x is greater than y, if it is really greater than y, then it will be 1. It will return 1 there. And if it is not greater than y, it will return 0. Then you can use it in this way. you can create a formula by using such such nature of the Boolean operators. So for example, you are only doing one thing. Right? For example, let's see. I will create a condition based on that. So here we have our information. In our information, we have profit, right? For example, I want to create a condition that if profit is greater than 0, then it has to display the customer. It has to display some bill amount, or else it will display 0. It will display the cost, or else it will display the cost. Before that, we have to take care of greater than, say, 100. And I want to use for this bill amount. Okay, so this is the expression. This one's called syntax error here. Here you can see it has returned the bill amount. For example, I'm just showing this just like that, and we can take this out, bill amount out, and in real-time scenario, for example, you have a requirement like user wants to see some kind of threshold values. You have to display to the user the bill amount which are positive, like which are for the profit, which they got some threshold value, profit above that value. If they haven't got, if they are below that threshold value, then you don't user doesn't want to see those bills. So, for example, for such scenario, like we have created this, and we can see that it is only giving the bill amount, because if the value is if the value is false, if our condition that we given the condition, if the profit is greater than 100, I guess I given 100, right? Then display bill amount. Else, don't display. So this is what we have done with the help of that condition. So like this you can use in different formats according to your requirement. So we have seen top 5. For example, I want to make it inactive. You can see for most of them, for the negative profit, you can see there is the profit negative minus 500, minus 480. For those, it is not showing bill amounts, and for others, rest of them, it is simply showing the bill amount. Why is it happening? Because it will return the value 1 for this condition. If really this condition is true, then it will return 1. If that condition is false, it will return 0. And if this is returned, if 0 is returned, what will happen? 0 into this will become 0, right? The design. Okay. This is new. Okay. So this will become 0, and bill amount will become 0. We are multiplying 0 into bill amount. It will obviously become 0. So we will get the desired result. This will be our result. Let's suppress these values. For example, user wants to suppress these values, right? Always suppress. So we have seen conditions, and we are going to see the exceptions. In order to create an exception, you have to click on the TV symbol out there on the menu items. Click TV symbol, and you are into the exceptions. Right click on the exception, create new exception. Profit alert. So here exceptions are alerts. We use exceptions to give us the alerts because there are different types of alerts. 9 types of colors are there for bad, critical, and good. There are three situations: critical, good, and bad. So for each one, there are three different colors for each one. So that is how you get to you can use exceptions. For the exceptions are used on key figures to give the warning messages. So it is just like warning messages with the help of graphical. By seeing the colors, user can know that which ones are we are getting. Which ones are critical and which ones are which customers are good customers, which customers are bad and critical. So I want to create alerts here by creating a good one. Good ones are the ones which are greater than 500 value profit. Transfer it, and I want to create another alert for the critical. Critical ones are the ones which are less than 500 values. Transfer it, and the bad ones are less than 0. Like that we can create alerts. For example, I want to do the shades. There is a good 3 which is equal to or less than 500, say 550, and say there is a critical 3 which will be less than 100, and I want to create bad 3 which will be less than 300, minus 300. So I have created few alert levels here. So a user wants to view the data, and user wants to know which ones are. We are giving the user an option, a bit more clarity on the report. By looking at, by scrolling down, if there is some error, red color on the key figure, he will know that this is what we are doing. This is where we are getting losses or something, and he want to see that one into. More carefully. So for such warnings and alerts, we use exceptions. I have transferred this. So I want to create on the profit after sales. So in the definition, we may want to take out the restrictions on the, say here there's another functionality like a display. In display, you have always show, always hide, you can be hide. So I want to hide this. I don't want to delete them every time. I don't want to use it. Say this time user wants to view this. I'm getting resound. Can you please someone look at that? So this time user wants to hide this one. User doesn't want to see this one, total material cost. User want to see the exceptions on the complete report. And for that purpose, we don't delete everything at once. We can just hide these. So I have hidden some information here. So here you can see the information. You can see the bad ones that are doing more bad are here highlighted with the red color, and the good ones which are highlighted with the green. So by looking at this report, user can see clearly that which customer is doing well and which customer is doing bad. Here you can see the SBI has giving minus 500 and Alok Industries is giving plus 600. Just like that, which ones are doing bad, you can see IDFC, it is giving us, negative figure, but it is not that bad because maybe some reason. So it will, a user will drill down to this. User will see this with his own perspectives, business values, and all. So for that purpose, we can create alerts on this. You can see there are a lot of negative profits. So for there are some warnings as well. Maybe these ones are doing bad slowly. These ones are turning bad. Slowly the performance is going down. So you can see like this. The report is assigned like this. You can see these ones are different color, and this is different color. So each alert has three different colors, three different layers. This is light yellow and this is dark yellow. This is dark green. There will be a light green, but we don't have such numbers to show that. So just like that, we have three colors in each color. We have 9 alert levels totally. Any doubts in exceptions and conditions? So good so far. Let's see how to create a cell definition. You have to right click on the rows, create new structure here. When you create a new structure and define a structure, you will be able to create a new cell definition. You can see the cell definition is active. First of all, we have to create this structure. Now this is the technical name I wanted to create. So here I will leave it as a structure itself. So here we can still get the error because when you create a structure, you should at least define one selection on that, or else it will give an error. At least one element should be defined for the structure. So here, for example, it can be any element. You can give just material number into that in order to create a structure. Okay. So you can restrict this material number if you want, or you can just say it is a constant selection. and here we got the cell definitions active because we got two structures in our query. Once you define two different structures, the cell definitions option is active. You can see each and every cell is ready to be defined. Right click on the cell, you will see either you can create a new cell reference, or you can create new selection, or you can create new formula. It's just like the selections and formulas we create for separately. If you have such a requirement to create a selection, for example, you have a total which is it is hidden here. You have this one here, total bill amount. Total bill amount, you want to create something like say you want to create some different formula for this. You can create that here. Anything. With the help of formula variables you want to pass on. You can create a formula new variable here. We haven't discussed, right? You can create new variable here, and with the help of variable, with the help of, for example, you can create this variable here. New variable. Edit the variable. You will have a new variable name. Some entry, and you can give the technical name processing by, there will be, you have to create a manual input formula, and that formula will be entered here. Manual input means a user will input this value in the selection screen, and that value will be entered here. So this is a variable. The difference between static and variable. Static value will be the value which we pass on, or which is statically there, and the variable value is a value either varies. When we create a variable, it means that, for example, we have created a variable on customer exit. If we create a coding for this customer exit in CMOD, and that coding would be to get the side item. So by creating a date variable, by adding it to the characteristic restriction, so what we will do is to pass on the side item to that value, so that whenever the user is using that query, it will pass on the present date, current date in the calculation, and it will do the calculation according to that. For example, from how many days are there, how many days, number of days user wants to see from January 1 to till date. Whenever he opens his query, so it is possible with the variable. Side item minus, we created Jan 1 to the side item minus side item. So it will be that column will be displaying the variable is there. That column will be displaying the value like 100, 150, like that. Not necessarily the Jan 1. For example, there is a material date, manufactured date. For example, the manufactured date is there, and user wants to see either to see the shelf life of the material. So it can be expired in 1 year. So whenever the user sees, user wants to keep a warning level for 300 days, and you have some variables like some materials which are above 310. So this will be, alert level. You can create like this different formulas, and you can add alert levels on that for every query. So whenever user sees that, he will come to know that this is going to expire or this is expired or something like that, and then they have to replace it, or they have to see it sold, or they have to give discount to the people and do some sales growth or something like that. So for that purpose we use we will discuss such scenario as well. Maybe. So for this purpose we use cell reference. Hello. You can change the whenever you want to use it. You can go to the display tab and change to the always display. And when you see the characteristic, there are different. You can see the tabs like display in characteristic, general, display, hierarchy, and planning. So here in display you will see display as text, all this, and here whatever you do here are fixed, and whatever the user does in the result are for the time being while executing the query. So these are power users. As we are developers, we are power users, and we can do all this fixed for the query. So you can see the characteristics available to sort, and you have either to suppress result rows, you can use it here. So these are all the available options for the typical characteristic, and for the key figures we have aggregations, and we have display, either to display or show, you can use it, and we have a reverse sign which we can use sometimes, and scaling factors, local calculation. These are exception aggregation values, right? Minimum, maximum, summation, etc. These are first value, average of the different. For example, if you have 3-4 values, same values, so you want to display the maximum one or minimum one or summation, you can use it here. First one, last one, or you just want to display the average. All these exception aggregation options, you can use it here. So here you can see currency types, you can define it here. Given that it is not defined on the, you want to define it here, not in the whole app, you can do it here. So all these values are available for the key figures. Now as we are looking at the here, you can see the values. So let's see it later.
Shahid, what's the difference between editing under the cell tab and then under where the characteristics are?
In the cell tabs we edit, as I said, according to the, as per the cell, different cells.
I still don't understand.
Here we will have different cells and we will edit according to the cell. It is only shown one line here, but generally you will have lines, right? Lot of lines, lot of rows here.
Okay.
So for that you can assign each cell a different formula. For example, you have a total material. Here you want another formula, and next line, next row you want another formula. Then you can assign that.
Oh, okay.
So for that purpose, we are using cells here. Here, these are the basic query elements. Calculated key figures, restricted key figures, exceptions, conditions, and cell definitions. Cell definitions you don't quite listen. Uh, get questions on interviews because no one uses unless there is such requirement. But information should be given whenever it is requested, and exceptions, conditions, rows or columns, filters are very important. Other than that, we can use mm, today I want to discuss variables. So we can use variables here. For example, we have in variables we have 5 kinds of variables. There are 5 types of variables available in Bex Query Designer. They are hierarchy variables and hierarchy node variables. So these variables I haven't given on my, on the document that I have provided because I didn't have that paint thing for a lot of days. So I will now I'm free. So I will quickly make a document and I will update that document. So meanwhile, I want to share a few documents which I found are interesting for the Bex Query Designer, and there are some from some Washington government documents. So I will discuss. I will send that to you. Mm. operating system not running up to my expectations. Find them here. So I will send them to you. Now I have in other account I have loaded that to the cloud drive. In this drive I don't have that. So I will log into that account and I will send it to you. So for today, I guess we can stop it here, and I will see tomorrow. We will discuss the variables and we will discuss a scenario, and then we will discuss a analyzer workbook. And hopefully tomorrow we will finish, and that's it.
We're finishing tomorrow?
Yeah, hopefully. So after that, if you want, you can attend. If I have some scenarios, we can take on that.
How about if we find scenarios? Would you mind going through with us? Like if we find them on our...
Yeah, you can give that scenario. We will see, and we'll do that in class.
Okay.
He is not here. I have to go to that. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, good night.
All right.